Gryffindor. Gryffindor is the Hogwarts house most people associate with the heroes of Harry Potter. It was founded by Godric Gryffindor, one of the four original founders of Hogwarts. He believed that the best witches and wizards were the ones who showed courage, bravery, and the willingness to stand up for what was right. The symbol of Gryffindor is the lion, and its colors are red and gold. This fits the house because Gryffindor is all about boldness, action, and courage. When Harry arrives at Hogwarts, he is sorted into Gryffindor, along with Ron and Hermione. This instantly makes Gryffindor feel like the main house in the story, because most of the central heroes come from there. But Gryffindor is not just the house for good people, it is the house for people who are brave, daring, and willing to take risks. Harry represents Gryffindor because he constantly puts himself in danger to protect others. Ron represents Gryffindor because even when he is scared or insecure, he still comes back to help his friends. Hermione represents Gryffindor because even though she is extremely intelligent, her strongest quality is that she is willing to fight for what she believes in. One of the best examples of Gryffindor is Neville Longbottom. At the start of the story, Neville seems nervous and unsure of himself. But by the end, he becomes one of the bravest characters in the entire series and helps destroy one of Voldemort's final Horcruxes. This shows what Gryffindor is really about. It is not about never being scared. It is about being scared and still choosing to do the right thing. Famous Gryffindors include Harry Potter, Hermione Granger, Ron Weasley, Neville Longbottom, Albus Dumbledore, Minerva McGonagall, Sirius Black, Remus Lupin, James Potter, Lily Potter, and most of the Weasley family. But Gryffindor also has weaknesses. Gryffindors can be reckless, emotional, arrogant, and too quick to act without thinking. James Potter and Sirius Black were brave, but when they were younger, they could also be cruel and overconfident. Peter Pettigrew was also a Gryffindor, and he betrayed Harry's parents to Voldemort. This proves that being in Gryffindor does not automatically make someone a hero. Gryffindor gives someone the potential for courage, but it is still up to that person to decide how they use it. So in simple terms, Gryffindor is the house of bravery. It is for people who value courage, loyalty, action, and standing up for others, even when it is dangerous. At its best, Gryffindor creates heroes. At its worst, it creates people who rush into danger without thinking. Slytherin. Slytherin is the most misunderstood house in Harry Potter. It was founded by Salazar Slytherin, one of the four founders of Hogwarts. Slytherin valued ambition, cunning, leadership, and resourcefulness. He wanted students who had the drive to become powerful and successful. The symbol of Slytherin is the serpent, and its colors are green and silver. Its common room is located in the dungeons underneath the lake, which gives the house a darker and more mysterious feeling. The reason Slytherin has such a bad reputation is because of its history. Salazar Slytherin believed that Hogwarts should be careful about who it accepted. He especially believed that students from non-magical families should not be taught at the school. This caused a major disagreement between him and the other founders. Eventually, Slytherin left Hogwarts, but before he left, he secretly created the Chamber of Secrets and placed a basilisk inside it. The idea was that one day, his heir could open the chamber and attack students he believed were not worthy of learning magic. Many of the most dangerous characters in Harry Potter come from Slytherin. Voldemort was a Slytherin, Draco Malfoy was a Slytherin, Bellatrix Lestrange was a Slytherin, Lucius Malfoy was a Slytherin. Many Death Eaters were also connected to the house. Because of this, a lot of people think Slytherin is simply the evil house. But that is too simple. Slytherin itself is not evil. Ambition is not evil. Wanting success is not evil. Being clever and strategic is not evil. The real question is what someone is willing to do to get power. Voldemort is the worst version of Slytherin because his ambition becomes obsession. He wants power, control, and immortality, and he is willing to destroy anyone who gets in his way. Draco Malfoy is different. He starts as arrogant, spoiled, and cruel, but later we see that he is also scared. He is trapped by his family, pressured by Voldemort, and forced into a role he is not strong enough to handle. Snape is the most complicated example of Slytherin. For most of the story, he seems like Harry's enemy. He is cold, unfair, and difficult to trust. But later, we learn that he was secretly helping Dumbledore protect Harry because of his love for Lily Potter. Snape shows that Slytherins can be brave, loyal, and capable of sacrifice, even if they do not show it in the same obvious way as Gryffindors. That is what makes Slytherin interesting. It is the house of ambition, but ambition can lead people in different directions. A Slytherin can become a leader, a survivor, a protector, a manipulator, or a villain. The house does not decide whether someone is good or evil, it shows what drives them. So in simple terms, Slytherin is the house of ambition. It is for people who value success, strategy, leadership, and self-preservation. At its best, Slytherin creates powerful leaders. At its worst, it creates people who care more about power than morality. Ravenclaw. Ravenclaw is the Hogwarts house known for intelligence, wisdom, creativity, and independent thinking. It was founded by Rowena Ravenclaw, one of the most brilliant witches of her time. She believed that intelligence and learning were some of the most important qualities a student could have. The symbol of Ravenclaw is the eagle, and its colors in the books are blue and bronze. In the films, the colors are often shown as blue and silver. Ravenclaw's common room is located in a tower, and instead of using a normal password, students have to answer a riddle to enter. This shows what Ravenclaw values. It is not just about remembering facts. It is about thinking, solving problems, and seeing things differently. The biggest misunderstanding about Ravenclaw is that it is only the smart house. That is not completely true. Hermione is one of the smartest students in the entire series, but she is not in Ravenclaw. She is in Gryffindor because bravery and standing up for what is right define her more than intelligence does. So Ravenclaw is not just about being good at school, it is about curiosity, wisdom, creativity, and loving knowledge for its own sake. Luna Lovegood is one of the best examples of Ravenclaw. At first, Luna seems strange to other students. She believes unusual things, speaks honestly, and does not care much about what people think of her. But that is exactly what makes her a strong Ravenclaw. She thinks for herself. She sees the world differently. She notices things other people ignore. Ravenclaw is also connected to one of Voldemort's Horcruxes. Rowena Ravenclaw had a famous diadem, which was believed to increase the wisdom of whoever wore it. Her daughter, Helena Ravenclaw, stole it and hid it. Later, Voldemort found it and turned it into a Horcrux. This means Ravenclaw's history becomes important in the final part of the Harry Potter story. Famous Ravenclaws include Luna Lovegood, Cho Chang, Phileas Flitwick, Gilderoy Lockhart, and Garrick Ollivander. But Ravenclaws also have weaknesses. They can become arrogant, distant, overly competitive, or too focused on ideas instead of people. Some Ravenclaws may believe they are smarter than everyone else, which can make them difficult to connect with. That is why Ravenclaw is more complicated than just being the clever house. It is about intelligence, but it is also about how someone uses that intelligence. So in simple terms, Ravenclaw is the house of wisdom. It is for people who value learning, creativity, curiosity, and original thinking. At its best, Ravenclaw creates brilliant thinkers. At its worst, it creates people who become too proud of their own intelligence. Hufflepuff. Hufflepuff is probably the most underrated Hogwarts house. It was founded by Helga Hufflepuff, one of the 4 founders of Hogwarts. Unlike the other founders, she did not only want one specific type of student. Gryffindor valued the brave, Slytherin valued the ambitious, Ravenclaw valued the intelligent, but Hufflepuff was willing to teach students who were hardworking, loyal, fair, and kind. This makes Hufflepuff one of the most open-minded houses at Hogwarts. The symbol of Hufflepuff is the badger, and its colors are yellow and black. The common room is located near the kitchens, which gives the house a warm and welcoming feeling. Hufflepuff values loyalty, patience, fairness, kindness, and hard work. These qualities may not sound as dramatic as bravery or ambition, but they are extremely important. Not every hero needs to be loud. Not every strong person wants attention. Not every important character needs to be the chosen one. Cedric Diggory is one of the best examples of Hufflepuff. Cedric is talented, popular, and respected, but he is also humble and fair. During the Triwizard Tournament, he treats Harry with respect and shows honor even when they are competing against each other. His death in Goblet of Fire is one of the biggest turning points in the entire series because it shows that Voldemort's return is real and dangerous. Cedric proves that Hufflepuffs are not weak or boring. They can be brave, talented, and heroic, but they often show it through fairness and decency rather than through glory. Another famous Hufflepuff is Newt Scamander. He is not a typical action hero, but he is kind, patient, and deeply protective of magical creatures. He shows that Hufflepuff's strength often comes from empathy. Hufflepuff is also connected to one of Voldemort's Horcruxes. Helga Hufflepuff owned a special cup, which Voldemort later turned into a Horcrux. This connects Hufflepuff's history directly to the final fight against Voldemort. Famous Hufflepuffs include Cedric Diggory, Newt Scamander, Nymphadora Tonks, Pomona Sprout, and Helga Hufflepuff herself. The biggest misunderstanding about Hufflepuff is that it is the leftover house. People sometimes think students only go to Hufflepuff if they do not fit anywhere else. But that is not fair. Hufflepuff is not about being ordinary. It is about choosing fairness, loyalty, and hard work over ego. In many ways, Hufflepuff may be the most grounded house. It values how people treat others, not just how brave, smart, or ambitious they are. But Hufflepuffs also have weaknesses. They can be too trusting, too passive, or too willing to avoid conflict. Because they value loyalty so much, they may struggle to stand against people they care about. Still, Hufflepuff represents something very important in Harry Potter. It shows that kindness is not weakness, loyalty is not boring, and being a good person matters even if you are not the main character. So in simple terms, Hufflepuff is the house of loyalty. It is for people who value kindness, fairness, patience, and hard work. At its best, Hufflepuff creates dependable and decent people. At its worst, it creates people who avoid conflict for too long.